What up, what up, what up, what up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Dallas Cowboys Uncensored. I'm your co-host, everybody. With me, as always, Mr. Charlie Moffitt. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Good deal, good deal. I'm good, man. It's another end of the week, so we made it.
A game in 2 days.
Yeah.
And we're just now recapping the last one.
Yeah, so with some schedule
late.
restraints and some other issues or whatever, we're a little late to the party on this deal again. So this show, and we decided to just record this episode, not have the chat, just because of time, right? We're trying to cram a lot into a little time window here. We don't want to run it too long, so we figured by cutting the chat out, we might be able to condense this shit and get it in under 2 hours or whatever. So what we want to do is recap the Texans game, episode 3 of Hard Knocks, and put out a 53 in one episode. So with that said, let's start with the Texans game. Initial thoughts, anything jump out at you?
No, I love preseason. I mean, I said it last year. I thought us not having a preseason kind of took away from the regular season because it does hype. It's that build up. You know, I'm so fucking ready for game one, and it's that hype of the preseason. First taken out, not a lot. Quarterbacks still suck. But I'm not really big on backup quarterbacks. As important as I think the quarterback position is, I think the backup quarterback position really isn't that important. I'll get flack for that. But if you kind of want a good backup quarterback for if that misses 1 to 3 games,
I think that's the lone scenario.
Yeah, if he misses, I might even put 1 to 4 games, but that's kind of hard for me to do because if he misses 4 or more, you're pretty much fucked because they're going to put you so far behind. I'll give you an example. In 2008, fucking Romo missed 3 games. We went 1-2 in them 3 games, and we finished 9-7, missed the playoffs by 1 game. So even 3 games, and we had a quality backup in Brad Johnson. You know, it's just the drop off from quarterback 1 to quarterback 2, especially if that quarterback 1 is top 10, like Romo was, top 5 to 7, like Romo was, top 5 to 7, like fucking Dak is. It's a significant drop. Everything changes, so it's not really that important to me. With that said, I mean, I still want the best one we can get. I'm just not going to go out and make a trade for one or pay one big. I mean, paid Dalton $2-3 million last year.
Yeah,
and really didn't get us nowhere. But other than that, the offense is just hard to judge anything on offense just because the quarterback play. And I think that's pretty much set anyways. O-line looked decent. Left tackle, swing tackle still a question mark.
Yeah,
that's going to be tough. Then with news coming out as we're doing this show with Collins going down in practice, hopefully that's not much, or we might need one of them swing tackles to step up.
Yeah.
As far as defense goes, I love the defense. I love what Dan Quinn's doing with the defense. I love that Parsons is all over the fucking field. I'm not big on off-the-ball linebackers, but if you're going to use an off-the-ball linebacker like that and not just let him be that guy, I fucking love it.
It adds a dimension, right?
Put him on the inside, put him on the outside, put him as a straight rusher, put him as a blitzer in the middle, put him as I love it. Do that. If every coach did that, if every coach did that with the off the ball linebacker like him, I wouldn't be so down on off the ball linebacker as far as value goes.
I don't know if there's a lot of off the ball linebackers that are capable of.
You're right. He's in a small percentage of what
kind of the exception of the rule. There.
Them fuckers don't grow on trees.
Right.
I mean, he is an exception, and that's why I said when he came in that I thought he's going to be the best linebacker on the team before he even put a foot on a practice field. But Osa's a beast, dude. That dude's just fucking. I love that guy, man. I think if you still have the grades, you can on him in here, you can see what I grade him. But I think I gave him a C or a D. Well, I'm changing that grade to a fucking A+. I've totally bought into Osa. I was just a little worried about him, but now I have no worries about him. I mean, that dude. I've discussed this before. That dude can play up to 3 and dominate. You can put him at the 1 and he fucking dominates. I mean, it doesn't matter where you put him. He's going to. I haven't seen him at the 5, but I know he can play the 5.
Yeah.
I mean, he just dominates.
I don't know what I had him graded at, but when I went back, of course, we watched a little bit of film on him. But the stuff that impressed me was watching him wrestle. is why I kind of had a better.
No, I'll give you that. You said from the get go, him wrestling think he was going to help, which I agreed. I mean, I do wrestling, being close contact and shit like that. I mean, that's
just that explosion, that hips down type of move that they, when you're going for a double under or a double leg takedown or something, that's a fucking football tackle. It's the same fucking move. And that man just explodes, gets his hips low, and just drives through anybody. I don't care how big they are, how strong they are. He's pushing you back. So
I was looking to see if we still had our grades on here, but we don't.
I don't think I have them on there, and I can't remember.
But I'm pretty sure. I'm going to tell you. I'm pretty sure I gave him a C at best. Yeah. But I think it might have been a D. But either way, it doesn't matter what I fucking graded him. He's A+ now. He's just beast. Yeah. Parsons sticks out. Osa sticks out. Boss, he doesn't really stick out, but that's not a knock. I'm not knocking him for it. He hasn't done nothing to impress me, but nothing to make me think it was a bad pick either. Just
what surprised me is I thought Anthony Brown had a good game.
Well, yeah,
every game I've been kind of clowning on him or not.
In my 53, y'all going to see, that I've never thought he was going to get cut, and I never saw the reason on cutting him. And they might stay. With that said, they still might. So my prediction, give y'all a hint, I'm not predicting that. But because since Boss played so little college, I just felt like I don't know if he was truly ready to just step in, just like fucking there you go.
Yeah.
15 games of college, get out there with the big boys and go at it. I think they'll ease him in. Huh?
Kind of like a taco deal. We all thought prototypical. There was some good film there, and he had the build and everything. Looked like he played the part. And I think that was kind of the, opinions there in the front office whenever they selected him. But there wasn't a lot to look at. It was just a small, small sample size of what he actually did on the field. I think that's kind of where Boss Man Fat sits, because while there's not a lot of tape, all of it's fucking great. He just, so it's kind of a gamble there. But again, I thought Anthony Brown played a great game. I hadn't seen that from him at any point in camp or the first couple of games with the little time that he got in there. And I wanted to give credit where credit was due. I thought he had a good game for the snaps that he got against the Texans. I didn't notice much else. I'll be honest. I only watched the first half. Once the backups and DiNucci and shit takes over, I just lose interest. It's really been a kind of a lully type of preseason, even with like Hard Knocks, and we'll get that get to that in a minute. But it's just kind of boring, man. Like we were so hyped and so ready to have an off season, and it's just kind of underwhelming. It hasn't really met expectations. It wasn't going to be this big explosion of hype and shit that I thought that maybe most thought was going to be.
And we talked about before we came on, I think, and we'll talk a little bit about it in Hard Knocks, I think Mike McCarthy has something to do with that too. I don't think there's a lot of –
seem like it.
Yeah, I don't think he's letting a lot of information out. I don't think he's letting – far as – like before with Jason Garrett, with him and Jerry being, buddies, Jason just kind of – information was just out. All the film you wanted, all the practice clips you wanted.
Yeah,
I think McCarthy is holding back on some of it. And I think also some of it has to do with Dak not playing so far. I think that has a little bit to do with it, because when
kind of eliminate a whole
when a non-Dak led team offense comes out, I'm sorry, it's just fucking not interesting to me. It's just like, fuck, I know what this is going to be like.
Yeah.
So I think it has a lot to do, but I do think McCarthy, him being head coach, I think he has a little bit to do with, kind of keeping some shit on some down low and not want people to.
I think he sure as hell is trying to keep everything close.
Yeah, it's hard with Jerry. When Jerry's your owner, he's your boss, you can't keep everything down. He's going to fucking. He's going to run his mouth.
When he said, damn near had a fucking car crash or wrecked my car. When I heard the news, Jerry told me on the phone I had to fucking pull over. I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
It's a bad feeling. So I 100% believe that there's pushback from Mike McCarthy. Whether it's effective or not, I don't know. But it sure does seem like there's not a, I think you were saying it before we came on, that it just doesn't seem as exciting as other Hard Knocks in the past, right?
Right. But anyways, just let y'all know, you see me mute and see me lean and yell. That's me yelling at my dog. One of my dogs is a male. My other one's a female. She's in heat and he's going crazy. So every once in a while I got to tell him, shut the fuck up like I'm about to now. I think my
dishwasher's going off anyway, so it doesn't
matter.
Yeah,
so remember, we're not professionals. We don't act like professionals like some other shows do. that they're going somewhere, but we're who we are. So sometimes we're going to have some fucking dogs barking and some goddamn dishwashers going on because we're real fucking people. But anyways, other than that, the defense side of the ball, I'm impressed with the overall side of the defense. Parsons, LVE, I thought he, in his minimum snaps, and I've been hard on him mostly because just of his injuries. But if he can stay healthy and play like he's played here in the preseason, which has been pretty good, that's even better. Neil, Bluff said it one time when Neil wasn't looking good in OTAs and it wasn't looking good early in the training camp when no pads came on. Everybody's Neil. But like Marcus said, when you take Neil is a physical player. That's what the fuck he does. When you take that away from him, well, he's not going to look good. When you don't give him, when you just let him out there without no pads, and he actually has to not fucking hit somebody, not put his hands on people, it's going to be different, And I thought that was a good point Bluff brought up. When you take that shit away from somebody, well then, I mean, it's like a speed guy. If you say, hey, you're not allowed to run fucking full speed anymore, well, what the fuck is he going to do? I mean, it's just kind of one of them things, So, but yeah, no, overall, man, we didn't win, but I'm not worried about wins and losses in the preseason. But in offense, it is what it is without Dak. Defense, I probably haven't been this excited about a defense.
At every level,
I can't remember last time. I know a lot of people got excited about the 2019 defense after the 2018 year, but I was one of the very few that saw the second half of the season and saw a lot of fucking holes that I wasn't for sure about. Like we looked good the first half, the second half, a little bit at a time, we just kind of started going downhill. Not still good, but just you saw some flaws in our defense, and then they really came out against the Rams in the playoffs, and so I wasn't as excited, as some. But I can't remember the last time I was probably maybe back to the Parcells when he went to the 3-4 in 2005. Maybe then, maybe Ryan when he came in, maybe I was excited about him, because the style of 3-4 he ran.
Sure. Just the aggressiveness.
Fuck Wade Phillips. I love Wade Phillips as a 3-4 because he played. His 3-4 was different than most. He was a one gap 3-4, which is unusual. Most times 3-4s or your front linemen are two gaps, but they were still one gap guys. That's why he could always use a small nose tackle. I remember when he went to Houston to be their defense coordinator, and I was still living in the Houston area. 610, their local station was talking about how they got to have a fat zero tech. They got a fat nose tackle. What is he doing? And I actually had to call in on a show to try to tell him, hey, look, man, I'm like, I've taken somebody who's watched him, a few years of him. He doesn't need a fat fat zero tech, fat nose tackle. I was like, he plays one gap. So he can use smaller nose tackles and get away with it.
Yeah. Damn dogs.
I'm telling you, man, I ain't going to go in all of it like I did with there, but he is going crazy, man. He's never been this crazy when they win in heat. He is going plumb. He's like a teenage boy. Jesus Christ, boy.
Yeah, that story you're telling me is pretty funny. He's got the itch.
He's cuckoo, man. I gotta get them fixed. I got to be responsible anyways and get them fixed. So, because I can't afford puppies. Well, not financially. I can afford them. I'm not talking about financially. I'm talking about just mental wise, dealing with fucking 8-9 puppies.
Fucking
Jesus Christ, I'd go crazy. But anyways, we'll move on to Hard Knocks.
Yeah. Anything stand out there?
It's been pretty boring. I ain't gonna lie. And I'm not knocking Hard Knocks. I'm just saying it's just. But I will say this: I love that it's boring, because if you remember going into the thing, my most worry was some crazy shit was going to happen and cause controversy, and I didn't think it was going to ruin the season, but I just thought that shit we don't need. So it being boring, actually, I like, because there's just not a lot of news coming out. So to me, no news is good news.
Absolutely.
Now with that said, I would like, me and Eric talked about this before we came on, they haven't really showed a lot of practice clips, and that's where we came up with the McCarthy thing. Is McCarthy kind of like saying, hey, no, not that. No, you can't show that. No, I don't. Keep that off the fucking
no drills,
show.
No Lebanon,
Yeah, just kind of like keeping it, in-house, not wanting other teams to see what they fucking, they do this, let's practice against that, which is good. I love it. So that's why I think some of us, that's why. And plus, right now, the Cowboys just don't have a lot of controversial players on their team. Yeah. Another thing, I think Dak being out, I think that kind of, makes it not as fun because you're watching fucking DeGoofy and Rush and Gilbert, and it's like, I'm sorry, it's not as good. I mean, hell, dude, before we came on, I was watching the clips on Twitter on Dak throwing, and everybody's hyped. I mean, that's how Hard Knocks, I think, would be more exciting if Dak was on there because you'd get more shit out of it. But I do think it's a little bit controlled so far, which I like.
When's the last time we went into a season without a suspension? I feel like we pay the fine for, excessive suspensions every year.
I don't know. It's been a few years. Knock on wood. If you got some fucking wood around you, you better fucking knock on it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
This late.
Yeah, pretty much every year we go into one with some kind of suspension.
Something, even if it's small PEDs or something, there's always somebody.
And I don't even mind the PED thing. That was a lot of people like. If you're going to get suspended for something, I mean, it's dumb to get suspended for anything, but the PED thing is something I don't really care about because most of the time people automatically think steroids, like they're fucking juicing a needle in their ass.
There's a million things on the list, right?
Dude, there's shit I go, well, not now because I'm a fat fuck, but here pretty soon I'm back on my diet and I'm about to start buying some more shit. There's shit that I can buy. Yeah, there's shit I can get that they can't take. Yep. So now they are responsible. They have their team person, they have the NFL person, they got plenty of people to call and say, hey, look, this is what's in this, can I take it? Mm-hmm. So they are responsible, but at the same time, it's not like they're going on a black market and fucking buying some fucking meth or heroin. So it doesn't really bother me when they get, ignorance part of it, like, hey, why don't you just fucking call somebody before you buy it? Right. But I don't really throw too much on it. I mean, if it's a PED, you're just trying to improve your body and shit like that. And like I said, there's shit that we can buy at GNC or your local supplement store that NFL players just can't buy. They're not allowed to take it, which a lot of that stuff I think is really, really silly. I mean, I understand maybe not letting them put a needle in their ass and put some tests and DECA. Yeah. I get that. But I mean, shit that's over the counter. Yeah. I mean, I think they should lay off on some of that shit,
Is that it as far as Hard Knocks? You want to move into this 53?
Yeah, we can move in. I'm trying to think. Hard Knocks.
I like the Jerry stuff. Every time Jerry's on camera, it's fun.
I like the fly through. I thought the fly through with the fucking. Go back
and get Steven and shit.
Oh yeah. We're going to start today fucking it up. Yeah, Look, I'm hard on Jerry, and I talk a lot of shit about Jerry, and I wish he would shut the fuck up 90% of the time. But as a person, like if out of all the Cowboys on the team, if they say, hey, you can drink a beer, or in Jerry's case, Johnny Walker Blue, I'll do it with Jerry. Just because I don't even have to talk football with him. We could talk about women. Anything. We could talk about fucking when he was fucking 20 and in his 30s and drinking and getting all the stories. Dude, all kinds of, man, you can get some good shit from him. I wouldn't have to talk about football with him. So yeah, I'd like him in that.
I'm not sure I'd want to talk football with him.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'd probably end up fucking hitting him over the head with my fucking Johnny Walker Blue glass, But no, I wouldn't talk football with him. I'll just talk about life and just funny shit. And tell me some funny stories and shit like that. So
he's camera gold for sure.
Yeah, no, he is, and he loves the fucking camera. But I like the flyby, the fly through. That was pretty cool how they did that. I like the Mexican guy. There you go. I ain't gonna try to pronounce his name. But I like his story. I think that's pretty cool where he came from.
He's got another year of practice squad eligibility where he doesn't count, right? He doesn't count towards that number.
Yeah, and you can tell his parents are proud. Hell, I got a son, so that shit touches me. That like, hey man, that's kind of cool. Your kid growing up in Mexico, never playing football. Mm-hmm. Mexico football down there is soccer. You know what I'm saying? Right. So to get up and you're playing for your favorite, I don't know. I think that's a cool story for him.
Kamara too. That's a fucking tearjerker, heartbreaker shit.
Yeah, I said after the first series, I didn't even know his background.
Yeah.
But now I'm going to pull for that kid, even if he don't make the Cowboys. If he's cut and he goes to another team, I'll pull for him there. Because that is a cool story.
I hope nobody picks him up. And I mean,
yeah, I love to keep him here. But if he happens to get picked up by somebody else, I'll keep tabs on him throughout his career, trying to pull for him. I think that's a cool story too. But yeah, no, other than that, Hard Knocks just been kind of dull. But like I said, I'm not mad. I kind of, hey, just we kind of getting to see a little bit inside stuff. Not a lot, to me, which is good because I don't want to see a lot of inside stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's been dull, but pleasantly dull for me at least. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of all one-timers. Usually, man, I'll go back and watch this stuff, even with the games, right? I'll record the games and go back and watch. I like the Texans game. It's supposed to be, our dress rehearsal because our off season's been kind of similar to the ones in the past with 4 games versus everybody else having 3. So that third game is kind of the dress rehearsal game for us. And typically I'll record it and just go back and look for stuff that I missed, or I had to go get a beer or whatever the fuck. I had to go piss and miss something. I'll go back and watch it. And I just watched the first half of this one. And kind of just lost interest after that. And I didn't go back and watch it. It's still, in my recordings or whatever. So I don't know. Maybe that's just me not doing my due diligence as a content creator or whatever. But I haven't had any interest. I'm ready for the real shit.
Well, I mean? That's what I was just about to say. I think I can't speak for everybody else. I can speak for me and Eric on this. I think we're just ready for the season.
Yeah.
And it's just like we're to the point now. We've talked about so much football that actually at the end of the day really doesn't matter. I'm just ready for the shit that matters. I'm ready for September 9th, and I'm ready for that to happen and then kick off the next 17 weeks of us doing a once-a-week show. When we can actually get into our shit that we enjoy. Because I can't break down EPA and fucking CPOE and fucking or DVOA or the D. It does, because it really doesn't matter at this point. I mean, I can't break all that shit down off preseason games. So,
well, with all that being said, let us jump into this 53 man. I made a little. I actually don't have my own 53. We're just going to use Charlie's today and critique the fuck out of his shit. But I looked at his list and I was like, this is a lot of the same shit. And you can make arguments for other players.
I can make arguments for other players that I didn't put on there. I
see kind of what he's going with and why. So we're just going to go and talk about his stuff. Give me a second here. It's going to go.
Damn. I got to shave.
Let's see. Yeah, that worked. Oh, bullshit ass background bullshit. All right. I went ahead and started. So it's a little slideshow, right? We're going to reveal each position. I'll start with the special teams to get that 3 off of there, and then we'll go to the next 50 players, starting with the offense. And it'll move top to left, left to right, I believe. I don't know. I was tired when I made this shit. So let me pull this up here. We'll start with the special teams. You've got Greg the Leg at kicker, Brian Anger at punter, and Jake McQuaid at long snapper.
Yep, let's move on. Nothing against you, Bluff. But I think even Bluff, as big as he is on special teams, there's no reason in going over that shit.
And really, he's not worried about those 3 positions. He's worried about gunners and shit.
He's worried about he's worried about down linemen, defensive down linemen, gunners, punt returners, and shit like that.
And really, we can. This might be some surprise to people. You got Cooper as your backup instead of GG. So.
Yeah, that's and like I said at the beginning, it really doesn't matter. I had to pick a guy because I don't think they're going to carry 3. If they carry 3, I'm going to be so fucking pissed off.
I'd be angry
because I'm like, who the fuck? How did you? One of them is barely going to earn a roster spot. How in the hell can you convince me that 2 of them earn a roster spot?
You're going to be able to stash all of them. If you wanted to on practice.
Yeah, I guess I could see maybe if there's a surprise cut happen and they bring another quarterback on, but I would cut Cooper, or unless they want to keep him for a while till the other guy gets caught up on the offense, something like that. But there's really no fucking reason to ever carry 3 quarterbacks on a roster. It's a waste of time. And with ours, you can cut Gilbert, you can cut DiNucci, okay, and more likely they're both going to go through waivers, and you can put them back on practice squad, at least one of them. So you're going to have 3 quarterbacks, just not on your 53.
2016 was nice.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Oh, that was real nice. But yeah,
but the exception to the rule, right?
I thought Cooper Rush looked better last game, and I actually thought he didn't look bad the game before that. And since they're giving first team reps now, and he's going to come, I think they're. Right. I mean, it really doesn't matter to me because he has a noodle arm. Yeah. I mean, it's horrible. But Gilbert, man, his pocket presence ain't worth a shit. And it's like he don't want to pull the trigger. It's like he's waiting and waiting, like he just don't want to pull the trigger. Yeah. So I give the lean to, edge to Cooper. But look, if it's Gilbert, I'm not going to – nobody should come up and be like, hey, fuck, you got that one wrong. Because I'm telling you, I don't really give a shit. I just got – I had to pick one, and I picked Cooper.
And I understood why, so I didn't fuck with it.
Yeah, I mean,
originally I had thrown in some shit. I was just going to put like who I thought – I was going to X out your guy and put in who I thought would go in there, but it really doesn't happen very often. So, and that probably wouldn't be one of them that I'd press too much.
Yeah, if you said Gilbert, I wouldn't argue with him. Like, okay, that's cool. We can go. Now, if you said Danucci, then we'd argue. Then we fight. But Gilbert, Cooper, either one. Let's just put. I had to put one on there, so that's who I picked. I'm more familiar with Cooper.
All right, moving on to the running backs, I believe.
This is where Eric's going to disagree with me at.
No, man, you'd be surprised here. I'm all on board.
Oh, yeah,
this.
Really?
I like this. With Dowdle going down, right? He's been put on IR, and he's out for the season, I believe, right, with the foot or something like that. I thought he was the shoe-in for that third spot, but, man, this kid, Ralston, is explosive, I guess is the word, because
he's a tank.
He's a fucking tank, man. And if I think you only had the one highlight on coverage, kick coverage, but man, he made the tackle and he's coming in hot. He's a bullet out there. So, and I haven't seen him catch the ball too much. It's kind of what I want as my, backups. I just want to know if they can catch the damn ball. But his pass protection is good too. So,
he did it in college, so I have confidence that unless he forgot, which happens sometimes. They come in and just
different ball, different quarterback.
Yeah, so
100, variables there, but I just haven't seen it. Is all I'm saying. I don't know if you can or not.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that.
But with the pass coverage, I think he's comparable to a TP or Zeke. Maybe not Zeke with the pancakes, but maybe. I just think he's upstairs. He's as good a player as we need at our RB3 spot.
Yeah, well, me and Eric both are anti-fullback on the roster.
Believe me, man, to sit here and say Nick Ralston is agreeable for the 3 spot is fucking crazy coming from me because I can't stand fucking fullbacks. But the kid can block, he can cover, he can run the ball, he's athletic, and the fucking special teams is going to be there. Why not?
Yeah, and you play special. You can play him H-back, and on 13 personnel, you can bring him in as a third tight end to block too, if that's what you want. Now you can't do it every time because if you bring him in every time, they're not. They're going to run the ball on this play.
Sure.
But you can also use him as a tight end. They haven't yet, but there's an option that you can use him as a tight end on 13 personnel to make people think you're going to run.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and I mean he can. I mean he played tight end, fullback, and linebacker. He's played all 3 positions in college.
Yeah.
So and then plus he, like I said, he's a special teams guy. I would never put him on the roster. I was thinking about, even before Dowdle went out, I was thinking about putting him on the roster anyways. It was just, but I was like, I don't know if I can. But once he went out, the other 2 rookies, the other 2 young guys on our team, I'm not so sure you really want to keep.
Hardy and Knox, I think.
Yeah, and they've looked good, but I don't know. I think you can let them go and bring them back on the practice squad. So you still have that option as another actually halfback. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like if Zeke goes down, you can bring them up, and you're not going to ask Ralston to play.
I think they'll be able
running
to be stashed for sure.
Yeah, so that's why, and it's a good point. Good time to get him on the roster, play special teams and shit like that. And I don't know. Yeah. And plus I ain't gonna lie. I want to tell everybody there's a little bias here because when we did Bluff Show and we did the expectations and what shit like that, Nick Ralston was my surprise. He was my surprise 53 made. So I
had Knox, the other running back. So I was with you there. Running back is probably the spot that could make this team from the undrafted guys. But
so there might be a little bias in that. And like I said, when I make these lists, I try to do it what I think they're going to do. But I ain't gonna lie to you. What I want them to do is going to seep into it. I mean, it's natural.
Yeah. That plays into me not making a 53 because I'll just put what I want, and I don't, this is a projection of what we think they'll do. So
some of it is projection for me, but some of it I can't be. I got to be open and just say, hey, some of them that you like, why you got this guy making the team? It could, or why you don't have this guy making the team? It could be, bias with that
final straw that kind of.
Yeah, okay, I don't like this guy, so he's not making the team.
Pros and cons.
I like this guy,
this guy. Yeah.
But I'm going to squeeze him in on the roster.
Sure.
I try not to do that, but I'm human, so it happens.
All right, moving on to the wideouts. No surprises here.
That's pretty easy.
Yeah.
They could keep 7. They keep 7. This is a possibility. Simi would be the 7th.
I like Simi as the 7th if that's the case. But I'm not sure they can stash him. I think somebody might pick him up just because how important receiver is.
Well, I would say this. Mosier had a good point on this a while back, a couple of weeks ago, when somebody said that they don't want to stash Simi because they think somebody's going to pick him up.
Yeah.
And Mosier said if you really look at receivers cut like him, they typically don't get picked up. And I started thinking about that. Receivers are deep in the NFL.
That's true.
I mean, there's a shitload of fucking receivers.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a shitload of them on the market. So when after all these cuts, so I think there is a chance that he was a 6th round draft pick. I mean, there was a reason for that. So I don't think nobody's clamoring to get him, and hurry up and get him up on their team. So
yeah, I think the crispness in his route running needs some improvement. I think his cuts are a little rounded, but other than that, I like the kid.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think they like him too. I just, we'll see. Hell, never know. It could be surprised they could keep 7. Or hell, they could be surprised they keep him and not Turner.
Yeah. Well, with all the playing time that Turner got, it's almost.
I think he's going to make the team.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I think he's going to make the team. And like I said, I think Simi. I think we can. I'm not going to say 100%, but I think there's a real good chance that we can cut him, and I think we can bring him back. I don't think nobody will pick him up because he hasn't done anything over the top in the preseason. Not his fault. He's playing with some pure shit quarterbacks, and I feel bad for him. I feel bad for all the wide receivers on our team, that have to play with them guys, especially
or they rely
DiNucci.
On that quarterback to make a team, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
I'm just looking at some of these names that we could think of that people would want to swap out here. So you got Johnny Dixon, Aaron Parker, Simi, Brandon Smith, Osiris Mitchell, TJ Vasher, Reggie Davis, guys like that. I don't think they've.
Yeah, there's none of them guys deserve to make the top 6.
So and
if you're going to go with 7, I think it'd be Simi.
I think it's Simi too.
And Parker was my guy. Parker was another one I predicted to do good things, and he hasn't done shit. Again, I can't really blame him too much, but it is what it is. You playing with the shitty quarterback. I feel sorry for you, but but yeah, because Parker, I think Parker, I had him like way back when as one of my people. I think was going to make the that he was going. I think he was going to be my 6th wide receiver at one time.
Yeah,
but this is before training camp even started. So, but shit changes. Holy shit, it's raining like a motherfucker here.
Yeah, we've had terrible weather here too, man.
I didn't know it was supposed to rain.
I think O-line's next. You good on receivers?
Yeah, I'm good on receivers. Receivers pretty easy. I mean, your top 5 is just kind of there, and then it was just 6th one, and I thought Turner just stepped up.
Right. I don't think there's any surprises here. Maybe Ty Nsekhe.
That's what I'm saying. There would be some people that don't think Nsekhe should make it, or I think Steele will make it because he's young. He's an undrafted free agent. He had a lot of playing time last year. He has sponsors.
How you get around bringing Knight and Steele back. I mean,
I just I think Knight comes back because he can play inside and out.
Right.
He's played. I don't even think he's played out all this preseason. I think he's played guard all this preseason. If I remember correct, I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to where he's played every snap. But yeah, you got your starters, and then you got McGovern, who backup guard. You have Steele and Nsekhe. I can't pronounce these fuckers' names. But anyways, you got them. I'm bad at English, y'all. So you have them two, because you're not just going to carry one swing tackle. I mean, you're going to have your specific swing tackle, and you're going to have another tackle in your roster.
Well, in my opinion, our swing tackle plays right guard. But.
Okay, well, this is the thing. That's another thing that I've thought about too, because even though you're going to keep two, I still think one of them will be the swing tackle. But if that guy goes down, I don't think the next guy is going to be swing. I think you're going to see Martin move out to swing tackle.
I would hope so.
To move out to tackle. I basically, like stay stills are going to be our swing tackle. I know Ryko's going to hate that, but say that's who they nominate as our swing tackle. He comes in, he gets hurt. Then we're down to Neseski. I don't think Neseski will be. I think they'll move before they'll put him out there at tackle. I think they'll move Martin out to tackle.
One of the names coming up here that doesn't make your list is Matt Farniok, who most have pegged as the backup center, possibly.
He has shown the Cowboys has shown me no reason that they're going to have him as our backup center.
Okay.
I could put 10. I carry 9, and that wouldn't surprise me if he came in at the last. If they carried 10.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if they cut Ty and kept him. It still kept 9, but cut Ty and kept him, and then that way, like I said earlier, Martin's going to be Martin's basically going to be your fourth tackle after the 2 starters and your swing tackle, and then that way well, we don't need a fourth one because Martin's going to be our guy. So that's I totally if somebody had that on their list, I would not argue with it a bit. But they showed everything they've shown is Connor Williams is going to be our backup center. Yeah. That's everything they've shown that is going to, But it wouldn't surprise me if they cut one of the tackles and kept him, or if they just carry 10 offensive linemen. I mean, you can't never have too many offensive linemen. We showed last year there's going to be times you're going to need a lot of fucking offensive linemen during the season. So
yeah.
Like I said, most of these other 53 I've seen, I don't argue with them. I was like, they're different than mine, but when I see them, I'm like, yeah, I can see that happening too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I haven't seen a 53 projection yet that I think, fuck, that's stupid.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one. I've seen ones. I'm like, nah, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. But overall, I'm like, yeah, that's if they did that, I wouldn't.
The fringe guys are all the same. It doesn't matter what list you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I could see it going anyway. I'm not going to get in a big debate about somebody's 53 over my 53. It's just, if they show me their 53, I'm like, yeah, okay.
Some other notables that don't make it here are Josh Ball and Isaac Alarcon. And with Isaac, we talked about it a little bit before. He'll probably be put on the practice squad, and he's got another year of eligibility where he doesn't even count towards that practice squad number. So,
I'm not even worried about Isaac.
I'm almost positive he'll spend his year, practicing.
Josh Ball was one. I mean, personally, I can't stand the dude, but this had no bias in that. I can promise you that. It's just, what has he done? He's been hurt.
I haven't seen anything either.
So to give him a 53, plus he's on IR right now, if I'm correct. So I think
he could be one of those guys that just his season's done, huh?
That's why I think they'll end up maybe just IRing him and just. He came from a small school as Marshall. He probably needs some strength building and shit like that. Maybe they'll just redshirt him pretty much this year. I see no reason letting him have a 53 spot when he hasn't done shit the whole preseason.
Sure.
Not his fault. Just he got injured. So
it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Tight ends. Maybe some shock here. I don't know. This is a good list in my opinion. It's what is the injury status of what's old boy's name?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I don't know what his injury.
Not Eubanks.
It starts with the M.
McKeon.
McEwen.
Some shit like that.
McKeon. Yeah. I thought about that, but like I said, he's injured. So when I'm doing these lists, it's like I don't know what the Cowboys are going to do. If they're going to keep them on IR, if they're going to put people on IR.
Yeah.
If they're already on a PUP list, what are they going to do with them? It's just so I just got to go with the guys. I'm just kind of go with the guys that's out there. And right now, that's pretty much our 3 tight ends.
Yeah, you take the injury out for me, I would have McEwen over Sprinkle. Yeah. Just going back
most
to
definitely.
what I've seen from the two,
yes.
right?
If you take injuries out of it, So if it comes up, cut day 53, and McEwen is 100% healthy, then yes, he's going to take that spot, and I have zero issue with that shit.
He looks a lot like Dalton Schultz as a pass catcher and runner, and can block better than both him and Jarwin, in my opinion, from what I've seen. He's another guy who could probably play a little fullback if you needed him to.
Yeah.
But he's making linebackers miss, and he's breaking, arm tackles and one-on-one. So a guy like that you like, especially, going over the big body, physical, can shed tackles, fall forward, stuff like that. So, on offense here, maybe a couple of guys I disagree with you here, but Sprinkle and McEwen would be one of those, I think.
Yeah, no, yeah.
You can argue it
if he's healthy, then it's going to be him. It's not going to be Sprinkle. I just don't know the inside information on what they plan on doing with him as far as health wise, like where does he stand healthy as far as his health goes. If you tell me tomorrow,
high ankle or something,
if you tell me tomorrow, hey, he's going to be ready for game one, I would switch that, and he would be my third tight end over Sprinkle. We just ain't got a lot of depth there, I mean, there's not a lot of people to choose from.
How many do you carry on active? Is that 48?
40.
Or is it 50?
It switched.
5 less? I don't remember.
I think it's 40. I think it's 46 or 47 on game day.
Okay. We'll have to look it up. I thought it was 5. 48, 5 less than your.
Yeah, it might be. I thought it was 46, but.
Could be. I don't know. You good with offense?
Yeah.
We'll get to the meat and potatoes here anyway. I think it starts.
Yeah, it's 46, Eric.
46.
But it can include up to 48 because of that new rule last year.
That's what I was thinking. 48.
I'm not even going to try to get in that rule, but you can move if it's an offensive lineman or some bullshit. Yeah, if you can carry an extra offensive lineman, then that way if you do, you can bring up a practice squad guy. But yeah, the basic roster is 46. I mean, I can read this article to you.
Could you activate a guy? So you bring 48, right? But one of those guys is a practice guy. Is that what that's saying? Practice squad guy?
Yeah. You can bring a practice squad guy up to protect him that week. Yeah,
that week. That's crazy. Before the game or during the game?
Before the game.
Oh, okay. It's not like he'd be on the sidelines during the game, and then if you have 2 or 3 fucking O-line guys go out, you can activate them.
Yeah, I said new CBA rules starting this season. Game day active rosters, which is used to be limited to 46 players per team, can include up to 48 players, provided that at least 8 of those 48 are offensive linemen.
Okay.
So if not, the game day roster size is limited to 47 players.
Okay.
So I knew the rule changed last year in the new CBA, but I never. With all the COVID rules last year,
it feels like it changes all the time.
Well, the new CBA, when they changed it, then the COVID rules kicked in the hour, and I'm like, and I gave up of trying to follow all them rules. I'm like, fuck it, it's going to be kind of a fucked up season anyways. Just do what y'all want to do. But yeah, I knew they had moved it up. I knew there was some kind of offensive lineman rule in there. If you can have 48, if so many are offensive linemen or some bullshit. I couldn't remember the exact detail of it.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's been confusing, and I just don't have the time to keep.
Well, when the new CBA came out last year, I was like, hell yeah, I was reading it. But then COVID hit right after that. Well, COVID was already around, but all the big COVID shit, like, hey, they're shutting everything down. Then all them rules, and then I was like, hell, I forgot all about fucking all the CBA rules. I hadn't even memorized them yet. I was trying to memorize the COVID rules. Then I just gave up and said, fuck it, I'll figure it out on game day who's playing, who's not.
Yeah.
All right, safeties. This was a tough one. I ain't gonna lie. They're all injured. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know like Malik Hooker hasn't really played much. He's coming off injury. KZ,
he's been activated full go, right?
Hooker? He's been activated full go. Yeah. And he's back off of COVID protocol too.
Okay.
DeMonte KZ, again, he's played well when he's played. fucking Javon Curse.
He's on the COVID shit right now.
Yeah, Curse ain't getting no hype, and I don't know why, because he's actually looked really fucking good when he's played.
Shout out to Bluff here again, because he's been on. I think him and Matt Owen have been on that J-Ron Curse train since I think we picked him up. They liked him.
Yeah, well, I picked him. Yeah, I actually, I can't remember what show it was, but I picked him to be. I think I actually picked him to be our starting safety. And everybody's like, whoa, hey, he might not even make the team. And hell, I'm like, I think he's going to make the team. But hell, I guess there's a possibility he doesn't. I thought he's played well. And I almost only carried 4. But I had to put Muck on there. I'm going to call him Muck because I'm not even fucking with that dude's name. So he's Muck to me.
So the only guys, and maybe these are just like a fan favorite guys, but the only thing I notice here that could be controversial is Darian Thompson is not on your list, and that could be a fan favorite.
Well, if he's a fucking fan favorite, I got to question their fucking fandom. I mean, maybe special teams.
Special teams aces.
Okay, I'm about to say it because he fucking absolutely sucks at playing safety. And I'm with Bluff on the fucking special team stuff, but it's getting to a point to me where you're going to have to start like saying, hey, look, somebody else got to step the fuck up on special teams, because we can't keep and you'll see my defensive backs, I did it with them though, but you can't keep keeping these guys around just because they're good on special teams.
Right.
I mean, it's just,
well,
I mean, and if they are kept on special teams, I want them to be a Bill Bates type. I want them to be a BB type. I want them to be one of them just like, fucking dude, we can't cut this guy because this is the guy, and I don't think Thompson's that on special teams. I don't think whoever replaces him on special teams, you're going to have a huge drop off. But it's getting to a point now, it's just like, hey, I'm with Bluff on special teams is important, but there comes a point in time where you're going to come down to roster cuts and you're going to lose a player that's better at the position for special teams when you can have somebody on special teams that could probably get pretty close to what that guy does. I just don't agree with it.
On 10 plays a game tops,
Yeah, I mean, like if the safety that you're keeping or the position you're keeping, he can only do 70% of what that starter does. Mm-hmm. All right, but you cut that starter because he's so good on that guy's so good on special teams. But the guy behind him on special teams can give you 85, 90%. So why are you cutting him? Why? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, that's what I don't.
Makes sense to me. I don't think anybody's going to be mad at you there. Stephen Parker, Tyler Coyle, among some of the names that don't make sense.
Yeah, this one it was tough. I just kind of, I mean, safety position is kind of out there right now.
Keeping 5. I mean, keeping 4. I mean,
Yeah, I almost kept 4.
Keeping 5, this has to be your list, I think.
Yeah, I almost kept 4, and then I thought, no, you got to keep 5. You just there's too much, and Muck has shown too much in the preseason that I don't think I wouldn't trust. I wouldn't trust cutting him and losing him. Yeah. But more than anything, I just carry 5. I mean, there's no reason not to carry 5.
Especially it's not like we're known for injuries. So
exactly, it's not like we're exactly. I mean, you got Malik Hooker coming off of Achilles. You got fucking KZ coming off Achilles. Mm-hmm. You got Wilson that had some questions about his work ethic and shit like that. It looks like he's kind of doing okay. You have Curse, who is also coming off injury, isn't he? Or is he not? I don't think he is.
I don't think so.
But so for the most part, you got 2 of your fucking people is coming off injury. So the depth there, I want 5. I don't want 4. And it wouldn't surprise me if they kept 6, to be honest with you. If they kept Thompson with this group because of his special teams play, it wouldn't surprise me at all. You'd have to cut something else short. I don't know where you get it from.
Or maybe, well, I don't know. Mukuama can play corner too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
what was that, South Carolina over there? He was opposite of Horn's kid.
Yeah. So So he has position flex. I think he's better at safety than he would be at corner. But hey, who am I to try to break down shit like that?
I think so too. I'm with you. I love the frame though, and I love that you kept him on your roster. Moving to defensive line. That's where it could get a little iffy, I think.
Well, I went deep with. Yeah, well, if you break it down by fucking positions, it ain't that long.
Yeah,
but when you mash it up, it's like, holy shit. But DeMarcus Lawrence, no question. Randy Gregory, no question. Sure. To me, Dorrance Armstrong, no question. He's been great at defense, man. He's great at special. He's great at special teams.
Yeah.
So you get both of them. So I don't think Chauncey Golston, rookie, 3rd round pick. He's not going nowhere. Yeah. But what are they going to do with him? I don't know. But he's making a team. Terrell Basham, you can say no to him. Only thing is, people always told me follow the money with Brown. If you follow the money with fucking Basham, there's no reason cutting him. He saves 0 on the cap space.
Yeah.
0. You don't save nothing, but you end up getting 2.5, 2.6. I can't remember how much dead money, but you end up getting you end up collecting dead money and getting no cap savings. So I think he gets on the roster for many reasons, but one reason is that. Then the defensive tackle is where it gets funny for me. Gallimore being hurt changed it. If Gallimore was not hurt, I wouldn't have kept this many defensive tackles. And where I'm going to really make people mad at is Bohanna wouldn't have been on my final roster if Gallimore was healthy. Yeah. That would have been, but with Gallimore being hurt, and I have no clue, it was a 4 to 6 week injury. So I don't know when he's going to come back. I think if it's early 4th week, I figured out last night. If it's a 4th week, that means he's healthy for game 1.
Yeah.
If they come in saying and he's doing good rehab and they're like, hey, he's going to be ready for game 1, they might not keep this many. They might go one less. And this is my thing is, if Quentin Bohanna makes this roster, Justin Hamilton needs to make this roster.
I'm with you. And the only
if you are going off film and film alone, Justin Hamilton deserves a roster spot more than Quentin Bohanna.
Quentin Bohanna's been getting a lot of credit for Justin Hamilton's play.
Yes, I don't give a shit about where he plays. I don't want to hear, well, it's different because he plays the 1. Watch the preseason games. All them fuckers at defensive tackle are lining up everywhere. Even Big Bo has lined up at the 3.
Yeah.
They are not pigeonholing any of them into one spot. I don't know if that's just keeping it simple or that's their plan. I hope it's that plan because I love that plan. But as of now, when Hamilton has played the 1, which is what Bo is, Hamilton has looked better than Bo. Hamilton, when they plays the 3, looks better than Bo when he's played the 3, which Bo I don't think's taken many snaps at the 3, but the few he has, Hamilton's looked better.
Yeah.
So if Hamilton's not on the team and Bo is, then that means they went with sponsors. That's their guy. They drafted him. They're keeping him. And that's fucked up as far as I'm concerned. Because Hamilton has outplayed Bo every snap this season, this preseason. He's looked better than Bo ever. And by the way, fucking the Bo fans, I'm not saying Bo sucks. I'm not even saying Bo's looked bad. I'm just saying Hamilton has looked better. That's all I'm saying. Bo has made some plays. He's looked good, but he's not on the level that everybody's putting him on. Like, man, that motherfucker looks so good. No,
I think so too.
Yeah, he has had some moments, but this is the thing. I've taken into account that he's a 6th-round draft pick. All right, a rookie. So it might take some time for. I see. The difference is I didn't expect him to come in and just dominate like other people did. I mean, there's people who thought he was going to change our defense against the run, and I'm like, whoa, hey, let's back off here. This is a 6th-round draft choice.
Memphis,
let's give him some time on the field. Let's see what he can do. And what he's done so far, to me, he has looked like a 6th-round draft choice. He has shown flashes of his size and his strength. But he's also shown flashes of his inconsistencies, like high pad level, bad angles, taking himself out of a play, like shooting a gap and taking himself outside of what he was supposed to be doing, which is shit that you expect from a fucking rookie. So he hasn't played bad. He's just, to me, he's played like a rookie. And Josh Hamilton has played like a 4 or 5 year vet, whatever he is, that's had a lot of snaps and seen a lot of football, and and is growing. So. But I kept, like I said, I kept so many because of Gallimore being hurt.
Sure. And then the only way I can see anything around it's Golston's on PUP still. You think he might be moved to IR?
Did he start the season on PUP? Because you got to start. Because from my understanding, I'm pretty sure I'm right. You got to PUP is for people who came into training camp and never was able to practice.
Okay. Yeah.
I think he did.
I think so too.
I can't remember.
I just haven't seen anything from him.
But either way, he's going to make the team. You got to put him on there. Not going to cut a third one. Even with him being injured.
Right, IR? If it's within the rules.
Yeah, but he still has to be on the 53-man roster, and then once that clears, then they can IR him, and then they can bring somebody else up to the 53.
Gotcha. So a couple of, like I do with every position group here, a couple of names that people might, differ with you here. Tristan Hill is not on your list, and Rondell Carter is not on your list.
Tristan Hill's on PUP. I don't have to worry about him.
Yep.
He came in on PUP, so he's not counting against the roster now, and we can put him on PUP with the 53, and he's not going to count against the roster. So I don't have to. What they do with him 2-3 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks down the road, who knows? But I don't have to account for him on my roster because he's already on PUP.
Okay, I think that rounds it out. That's all the names I'm seeing here. Maybe Bradley Anai, if Golston stays on PUP, right? We could maybe. Yeah.
There's always chance. That's what I'm saying. There's always a chance because you got to cut him, and then just because you can't put Gallimore in IR until the 53 cut. Yeah. So you got to get down to your 53, and then you got to put him on IR to get it down to 5-2. Then you can bring somebody back. Gotcha. So some of these guys like Anai, he might come back. We might cut him, and he might clear waivers, and he might come back on the 53. Who knows? But that's the ones I just think. Like I said, with all the injuries, I say all. It's not like they're a lot, but with the injuries and the PUP list and the IRs, it's kind of hard. So I just kind of went extra to, and I'm no expert on this shit, so I'm not going to claim I am like some podcasters do.
Come on, bro. We got a fucking channel, bro.
I know. I'm a fucking YouTuber. I'm a fucking expert.
Come on. Let's move to corners. Let's see your list here. Again, I want to say, because I've been dogging him the last 2 years probably, Anthony Brown had a great game against Texans. Maybe you shouldn't say great, but he had a good game, which was different from every other fucking shit I've ever seen since his rookie year.
Yeah, where I'll get pushback on this and not having Lewis on the team.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. Lewis might make it, and they might keep extra, or they might keep him over one of these guys. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe like your safeties will carry forward and keep an extra corner or something like
that.
So
that's always possible. But according to my list, I had to have him off the team because I couldn't fit him on because I personally would not keep him. And then I guess I might keep him and take Muck off and hope that he clears waivers, but I doubt I would. But this list was kind of easy for me. I mean, you got Diggs. Diggs ain't going nowhere. Joseph ain't going nowhere. Wright's a third-round pick, and he's actually impressed me.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Not overly impressed me, but I'm okay with him now. It's like, all right, I'm not mad at them picking him now. Just he's going to be he'll have a place on this team.
Bossman, another second rounder.
Yeah, so them ain't going nowhere. The ones I had to choose between was C.J. Goodwin, another fucking special teams guy, and so I chose him, and then Anthony Brown. I feel like they've done everything to let him be the starter, and nobody has done anything to take that from him. Boss or Wright has not, to me, in my book, has not done so much to like, fuck, we got to get rid of Brown because these motherfuckers got this nailed down over here. They're both rookies. Both have some, flaws.
Yeah.
That they got to work on and shit like that. Anthony Brown has flaws, but he's a vet. It's been in the NFL now for 16, 17, his sixth year. So I mean, he's played a lot of snaps, even though he's been hurt a lot too. So I think they'll keep him. Now, whether he stays on the team, after game 5 or game 6, where he stays a starter, I have no clue on that. But for far as the 53 goes, yes, I think he'll make the team. And then Kennedy is, dude. If he's not our starting slot, I don't know what the fuck they're looking at. Yeah. I don't. I mean, he's outplayed J. Lou. He's outplayed, and he's another guy. Unlike J. Lou, he can move outside too. He can play the outside. I mean, he's great at the slot. But if you want to move him outside. He can play the outside. To where when J. Lou is pretty much who he is as a slot cornerback. You know, with Kennedy, you know, you got some possession flex there. You can have him inside. If there's injury on the outside in a pinch, you can move him out there. Yeah. So, you know, I don't know. I'm just, look, man, when we drafted J. Lou, I was fucking high on J. Lou. I love J. Lou. His rookie year, I was like, hell yes, this is the guy. You know, and Eric, don't know if he remembers this, but we had this conversation in 2018. I predicted that's when they brought Jones back to cornerback. I actually had J. Lou beating out Byron Jones at cornerback.
You're crazy.
I had J. Lou and Cheeto as our starting corners.
Oh wow. And
with Byron Jones being our third, which we're in nickel a lot anyway, so he was going to be in there most of the time. And J. Lou would go into the slot. But when it was two wide receivers, J. Lou would be on the field, Byron Jones be on the bench. That's how much I loved fucking J. Lou. That's how much I thought of him. And then ever since then, my opinion of him is just going down and down and down and down.
They could never beat Anthony Brown, regardless of what our opinions were or, you know, what we thought of the tape or anything like that. The coaches saw everything they needed to see at practice. And we never beat out Anthony Brown, ever.
Yeah, that's what I said on the past couple of shows. Anthony Brown, everybody's trying to get rid of him and fucking follow the money and get rid of him to keep J. Lou. And I'm like, there has never been a fucking time in their career that he finished above fucking Brown on a depth chart. It's just like, this ain't one coach. This has been multiple coaches, multiple
staff,
coordinators. Bunch of people. They've always had Brown ahead of fucking J. Lou. You know, so. But like I said, J. Lou making a team would not surprise me. I mean, you know, he just signed a contract, so that does kind of, you know, put a kink in it. You don't save that much money. You collect some dead money. I think you save $220K, so that can play a kink in it. I can see him carrying, like I said, I can see him just carrying extra deep cornerback and then cutting something short. Maybe my list of defensive tackles, maybe they'll cut one of them out, you know, or maybe defensive ends, they'll cut one of them out thinking they can bring them back, you know. Like I said, when it gets down to the last one or two roster spots on each position, you can maneuver that shit any way you want. You know, I could put
down too.
Yeah, I could put J. Lou on the roster and easily take Bohanna off, and I'm fine. Yeah. Or I wouldn't say easily. I could take Muck off and fucking keep J. Lou. You know, that's about all I can do. I'm not taking no O lineman off. I'm going to carry at least 9 O linemen. But yeah, I mean, you can always maneuver it around. You know, and
no, I'm not fucking with that O line.
Yeah, I'm not fucking with that O line. I'm not fucking with it and add somebody else, take somebody else out. But I'm going to carry at least 9 O linemen.
Yeah.
But to do all this, I went short on linebackers, which is our next position.
Yeah.
You know, that because I had to go short on linebackers mainly because of defensive tackles, and I just wanted a good amount of depth at corner and fucking deep and safeties. Michael Parsons is well, I mean, look, there's nobody on this list that shouldn't be on this list. Well, maybe one, but but I mean, we all know he's going to make the team. I mean, he's going to make the 53. So that's it. It was just a matter that I want to carry an extra one, and I'm just people can go with Gifford. People, I mean, name the person you want on there, and I'll give you a thumbs up. Like, okay, I'm fine with that. I just because it's like once you get to that deep in your linebackers, I'm not really worried about it because if we're having to go that deep in our linebackers, we're probably pretty much fucked.
Yeah,
you know. So
let me bring up some names. Luke Gifford, Francis Bernard.
Yeah, Gifford would have been mine.
I think Gifford's probably Kamara maybe. Well, they have this is our lads. They have him listed as a Sam, but he was on the line most of the preseason, right? He was playing defensive end. But you can tell he's really young upstairs. He's kind of just a super athletic freak right now. He still needs to refine his techniques. So if I was to bring another linebacker, it'd probably be Luke Gifford.
Yeah, like I said, you got 5. I mean, I got 5, and Luke Gifford would be the only 6th one I'd bring. I mean, because you have Parsons and Nils going to be starting on nickel. That's going to be your 2 linebackers on nickel. And then when you go to fucking your base with 3, give me any combination, I don't give a shit. But it's only going to be 3 of them, so you're still going to have 2 on the bench. and then so I
don't know. We've seen 4 on the field at the same time.
Yeah, no, and there'll be some like pass rush plays, something like that they can have 3 linebackers and have Parsons out as a designated pass rusher.
Yeah.
So but even then you still got 2 backups. I mean, so it's just, to me, carrying 5 linebackers is plenty. But if somebody wanted to carry a 6th, I'm good with that. And we can take somebody else off one of my other lists off. Like I said, when you get down to the last few, we're all splitting hairs on certain shit. So, J. Lou would be the one that I'm going to get the most pushback on. And if I wouldn't have Quentin Bohanna on mine, I would have got a lot of pushback on that one too. But J. Lou's the one I'll get a lot of pushback on. All the other ones, I shouldn't get any pushback on any of them. Yeah. Maybe some. I want to keep that player. I think y'all should, and I would be like, I agree. I have no problem if you wanted to do that.
Farniok.
Yeah, like Farniok. No, I would have kept Farniok. I would have kept the 10th and kept Farniok. I'd be like, I have no problem with that. I would totally be on board with that and pick another spot that you're going to take one off of, and that would not bother me. And I'm not going to say there's no way that would happen. Or you could take Farniok and take one of mine off. Keep 9. Just keep Farniok and take one of the guys I have off. I'm not going to be pissed if you take Neseski, whatever the fuck his name, Ty off. I'm not going to be upset. I'm going to, there's no way you can do that. I'll be like, fucking, that's cool with me. I mean, because like I said, it's just like I wrote this shit down because I had Farniok was one of mine. I was like, man, I want to keep him because he's young. He's another player I don't think will get picked up. What was he, 6th or 7th round, or was he a 5th?
Yeah, but man, O-line is just so fucking shallow across the league.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I mean, with him but he wasn't like really rated that high, anyways.
Right, that's true.
He's kind of smallish, kind of needs a year. But somebody could pick him up. Somebody is like, hey, we want to bring him in and develop him. Maybe somebody was real high on him in a draft and we snuck him in before they could. And they're having O-line problems anyway. So it's always possible. But I think there's a chance you can.
About smallish.
When just like he's just not Zach Martin big
like
to me.
Strength wise.
Yeah,
I got you.
Just kind of just
he's
not
a tall
really.
Motherfucker, isn't he? I thought he's like 6'8"
Oh no, yeah. He's kind of slimmer. He's kind of more of a
slim. Okay.
Yeah, he's not like big fucking, and he's not like fucking Zach Martin size, and he's not like Tyron Smith, where it's Tyron slim too, but that motherfucker's ripped. Like just fucking chiseled like a fucking statue, So, but yeah, no. Like I said, I wanted to keep him. I just, if I kept 10, that means I was going to have to cut back from another position that I wasn't comfortable with. But if somebody came out with the list and kept him and cut back on my list, I would have no issues with it. I mean, like I said, when it comes down to the last couple, in each position group, the last 1 or 2 in the offensive line, the last 1 or in the safety, the last 1 or 2 in the defensive line, hey man, we're splitting hairs here. We can go either way. Like I said, I haven't seen a 53-man roster prediction that I didn't like.
Sure.
I have not like Raka came out with hers. I had disagreements with it, but nothing that I was like, what the fuck are you doing? She kept 3 quarterbacks. I don't think we should. But I'm not going to say we wouldn't. I'll be pissed if we do. But so even hers, like I told her, it was pretty much like mine. That's why I looked at it, I'm like, yeah, a couple things I would keep. She didn't, or she did and I didn't. I was like, but for the most part, I agree with it. I have no problem with it. Kind of like you. When I came out with mine, you didn't even do yours because you're like, well, fuck it. I agree with most of this, so I'll just kind of, disagree with the couple I would do different. Yeah, no reason putting an hour. Yeah,
that I didn't need.
That's what I was saying. No reason putting an hour's worth of work on pretty much 98% of the same list.
There's a couple names, and I even thought about including my guys on your graphic in a slide, right? So after each position, all the white would come up, and then I would insert mine in a different color or something. But I was like, even then, that's a couple of guys. We could just talk about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I said, Rocca, when she came with hers, I loved hers. Like I said, the 3 quarterbacks were the one thing I disagreed with it mostly, but it wasn't like not a bad disagreement. Teams do carry 3 at times, so I can.
We've done it. We've done it.
So so I don't really think that's an off the wall thought there. And there was, I can't remember. It was so good that I don't even remember which other one. There was 2 other ones. I'm like, I would have picked him. I would have fucking picked him, But again, it's just like splitting hairs, like just a preference.
Friends, guys. It's not like some wild, huge name or huge disagreement, with a starter or something like that. But
yeah, I thought she did a damn good job on hers. I thought I liked hers. That's why I told her I was that's pretty much looks like mine with a few differences.
They had a great show. I couldn't catch the whole thing, but I caught a lot of it.
But yeah, no,
most of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I haven't seen one I disagreed with. Like, just like, no way, man. What the fuck is he doing? Top disagreement. It's just like this one. It's like, yeah, I would have kept that guy. I wouldn't have kept that guy. You know, like J. Lou. They would have kept J. Lou and maybe say cut Brown. I'd be like, yeah, that, you know, can it happen? Yes. Do I agree with it? No, but it's not going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe they just did this.
Right.
You know, even Hamilton and Bo, where I think Hamilton deserves it more than Bo does.
Yep.
It wouldn't shock me because Bo has sponsors. They drafted Bo. You know, Bo's their guy. You know, so I think it's wrong and I think it's dumb, but I'm not going to like say that's the worst move ever in Cowboys history. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not going to overreact. I'm just going to disagree and think that was kind of fucked up they did that, but it's all splitting hairs towards the end of it.
I think Dan Quinn kind of you know, I'm not in the building, so I don't know. I don't talk to this dude every fucking day and all that stuff, so I don't know for sure, but it feels like he's not for that shit. He don't care if you got a fucking sponsor or not. He's going to put the best 11 out there, in my opinion.
It seems that way.
You know what I mean?
I can see where you think that.
I'm not in the building, you know. I don't talk to him every day. You know, the little bullshit clips that we see from Hard Knocks in the meetings and shit is not enough to go off of. But it seems like he's just going to put the best 11 out there, and there's just no nonsense, no bullshit. I don't give a fuck who you are, you know. So hopefully that's the case.
Yeah, I hope.
Well, that's it for me, man, on the 53. Anything else you want to add?
Nah, like I said, it's my 53.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like it.
I mean, like I said, I don't think there's real surprises on there. Maybe a couple. Maybe J. Lou not being on would probably be the biggest pushback I'll get. And I'm good with that. If I'm good with somebody putting J. Lou on there and taking whoever you want off. Or just adding them on there and carrying, you know, 7. Or however many. Why do I carry 6? Yeah. And carry 7 and take away from another position.
I've been seeing some reports that Johnny Hecker might get released. I guess they're having a punter battle over there in L.A. You think that would be a guy that they'd go and get over Brian Ager?
Oh, yeah, let's talk about that. Did you fucking see that they restructured Zeke?
I did. I think a lot of people are tying that to Johnny Hecker, and I'm like,
yeah. Well, Connor Lobsey, writes for Blogging the Boys, the draft guy, he fucking said it best. If you're restructuring a fucking running back to fucking sign a punter,
that didn't make
you're spending too much money on the fucking punter. I mean, that is a double down dumb shit. Yeah. Let's restructure a fucking running back's contract so we can sign a fucking punter. Like, God, man, that would be the ultimate dumb move, like in Cowboys history. One of them, because there's been many of them.
Yeah.
But that would just be like, you know, and other people are freaking out about the restructure. You know me, I don't like restructuring guys like Zeke. I like restructuring guys that are going to be here for a while and it's worth it.
Yeah, but in this case, it doesn't matter much. You can still get out of it in 2023.
Well, yeah, because in 2 years, everybody's like, that's when we can get out of the contract. Now we're like, well, we can't. Well, it only adds $1.7 million to that year. Right. And it adds $1.7 million to the year before. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not really it adds $1.7 in that year. So you take 1.7 after 23, I don't even know how many years left on his contract. So it does add, because he'll play this year and next year, so that eats up, because it was like $8.6 million that they restructured. A lot of people
are focusing on dead money, and that's money paid regardless.
I don't give a shit about dead money.
What you need to look about is the savings, right?
Because that's
what we decide.
Yeah, it added $1.7 million to each year. So you take $1.7 million this year, and it takes $1.7 million added next year. So that's 1.5 is 3, so a little bit over like $3.2 million. Somewhere in there is what, and he's going to play them 2 years. So he's going to eat that dead money up.
Yeah.
So the rest of the dead money will be around $5 million. I think it was 5 million that it's going to add when we want to cut them. Yeah. But it also increases the cap savings too. By then our cap savings is going to be bigger. So it's not that big of a deal. I don't like it. For any reason, you should never restructure. For one reason, you should never fucking pay a running back what we did. But if you're going to, you don't touch his contract. Just let that motherfucker play it out and, you know, bite the bullet. But they did what they did, which shows. But this is the fucking funny thing. And I try to tell people this back in 2017. Nobody want to listen to me, and I told them this in 2021, and nobody want to listen to me. Them not fucking restructuring Amari Cooper's contract when they can save, I don't know, what is it, 16 million, 14 million? I haven't looked at it in a while. That says a fucking whole lot. I said in 2017 when they did not restructure Dez's contract, I said that is a sign that they're not 100% confident that he will be on our team at the end of 2017 season. People lost their shit.
Yeah.
At the end of 2017, he was no longer on our team.
I think the biggest difference is the decline in play, right? Cooper's he's played every game, regardless of the injuries that he's, played through. And he's been one of our, he's been great. It's not like he's been, his play or his numbers have gone down or anything like that. He's there every fucking game and he's, he's putting up numbers. So that would be the only difference in those two. But man, I could totally see it.
But what makes up that difference is we have CeeDee Lamb on the roster.
CeeDee Lamb. Yeah.
See, we didn't have a CeeDee Lamb when Dez was here.
Sure.
So his decline of play made it part.
Yeah.
So it's not Cooper's decline of play. That motherfucker's number one wide receiver. He's great.
Yeah.
But with CeeDee Lamb being on the roster and them knowing this is going to be the end of his second year, so one more year, he's going to be up for a contract. Okay, then you have Michael Gallup.
I was going to say,
also
might get re-upped. And
I don't see it happening, but I have to take in consideration if they're not fucking signing fucking Cooper. I mean, they're not restructuring Cooper. That tells me they don't want to fucking push money down the road knowing that he might not 100% be here. That there is a chance. If CeeDee Lamb comes out and does what I think he's going to do, what you think he's going to do, and like some people, he will be the number one wide receiver on our football team.
I think so.
When I say that, people think I'm saying, well, Maury, that makes him Maury number two. No, that just means we'll have two number ones. I mean, that's all it makes. In Cooper, Lamb will be our number one. He will be the top receiver on our team. But if he does come out and play that well, man, you got to think about fucking. I mean, it has to come in consideration. I mean, what are we going to do with Cooper? I mean, and then with fucking Gallup out, I mean, you have to think about, well, we got fucking number one in fucking Lamb. We can fucking save a shitload of cap space in fucking in Amari by not having Amari.
Number two in Gallup.
You can trade Amari and get draft picks for him.
You
can fucking Lamb will be our number one. You can sign Gallup and fucking and he can be your number two. So and I'm not predicting any of this shit's going to happen. All I'm saying is be aware that they can save over $14 million, 16, whatever it is that they can to restructure Coop, and they've chosen not to. They've chosen to do 3 offensive linemen at the beginning of the year, or beginning of when they could start restructuring. Yeah. They chose to do 3 offensive linemen. Them 3 offensive linemen combined save just a little more than what just one fucking did, one restructure of Amari Cooper's contract. I think they saved 17, 18 million, I think, between the 3 of them, some shit like that. Cooper's going to save 14, 15 million on his own.
Yeah.
So when you do that, that should tell you something. And then later on in the season, later on in the year, when you restructure a running back and not your fucking wide receiver that has a shitload of cap space that can be saved, you got at least think about it. You got at least think like, hey, something's going on here that they're not wanting to push dead money back, because they know they're locked into Zeke for the next 2 years because of his guaranteed money. So they're like, all right, he's guaranteed this shit anyway. Let's just make it signing bonus, type, and give it to him up front, and we'll spread the cap hit out. They're not doing that with Amari. Nope. And I said it because in 2017 we could have saved a good amount with Dez restructuring, and they didn't. And my first thought was, I don't think they are confident that he's going to be part of the program after 2017, and he wasn't. And with Amari, but like you said, with Amari, it's different. I don't think they think Amari's slipping. I think they see CeeDee Lamb coming up. And you hear Michael Irvin and Jerry talking. You hear Jerry talking about 2-3 times on fucking Hard Knocks. We just got to get him the ball.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're looking at. They want CeeDee Lamb to step up, and then they get fucking another whole year of CeeDee Lamb getting off cheap. Fucking Cooper ain't on the roster.
Yeah,
you get some fucking free cap space. And as far as what Gallup does, as far as what Gallup does, whether they sign him or not, I don't know. They might be looking at just having CD on there, and he's the go-to guy. Maybe they're trying to cut back on their fucking salaries to the wide receivers. You know what I'm saying? Just only having one. Not paying multiple wide receivers, which, in all honesty, is not a smart thing to do. To pay.
No, we've been through that.
Yeah, you can't really fucking invest a whole shitload of money in 2 wide receivers. It's not something you really want to do.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I'm not predicting Cooper's not going to be on the team. I'm just saying keep an eye on it. If they're not restructuring them when they could have and saved more money at the beginning of the offseason and they've chosen not to do it again, you got to at least fucking shrug your shoulders like, hey, what's going on here? Why wouldn't they save all this money with Cooper?
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know what he would save. Fucking, I want to say it's fucking like $14 million is some bullshit. But
I'll let you look it up. Any other news we need to cover? Anything else that's come out recently? I'm trying to check Twitter here to see. So I would hate to go a whole nother fucking show and something.
Yeah, you say 14.2 million with one signature of Cooper on a restructure. You say $14 million.
Yeah.
And they've chosen not to do that. They've chosen to fucking do it with the 3 linemen, which I think saved 17 million. I can't remember how much they saved with that. They chose to do that, and they chose to do fucking Zeke when they could have got a big chunk just for one restructure. So yeah. I don't know. That tells me something. That tells me something's going on in their head, that there's a possibility that shit can change at the end of the year with our wide receiver group. With Gallup, I don't know. I can't even predict that. I can't predict what, because I think Gallup is going to demand 17, 18 million. He might only get 15 or 16, but even at that, I don't know do you really want to.
I think it's enough to get him to stay with Dak, because you're getting, a couple million.
Well, if you give him 15, if you give him 15 to 16 million dollars, you can't keep Cooper.
Yeah,
I mean, exactly. You can't have a 15, 16 million dollar wide receiver in 2021. You can't do that. That's not very good investment in your money. And if that's the case, then that means Cooper will be traded, or hopefully traded and got something for him. If Lamb's our number 1, Gallup remains our number 2.
Yeah.
So like I said, I'm not predicting anything. We'll see at the end of the year, but it should be noted that they're not restructuring Cooper, and that should be noted.
Yeah.
Hear my dogs?
I hear. Yeah, I was like, man, is that me? Is that? I was outside here. Yeah, that's it for me for this. I can't find any new news that we needed to cover. I feel like we hit on everything we needed to. We're caught up as far as off-season stuff so far. So, you want to get your shout-outs in? Shout out to
I probably should have done it. Yeah, I should have done it at the beginning of the show.
Cowboys for Life, DC4L. Check them out. Appreciate Michael Aaron Petty out of War Room. He lets us post in there. That's a lot of people posting there.
Except one.
Yeah, one of them's banned, but he's a professional. He doesn't need that group.
He's an expert.
He's an expert. It's fucked up. Anyways, if you like the video, make sure you hit the like button. If you fuck with us, you'll probably fuck with all the people. Go check out our channels section on our channel. Go hit the subscribe button on all them. Those are kind of the list of people we go to or we follow and we subscribe and we support. So we appreciate your support.
Have you adjusted that here lately?
Yeah, I did. I don't know how long it's been. I don't know if it needs to be adjusted again.
I'm going to go on a limb and say that motherfucker needs to be adjusted highly. I haven't looked at it, but I'll go look at it. We'll adjust it. Because there's some of them and I'm not going to ask people to sub to.
Yeah, gotcha.
That needs to be the fuck off our list. Anyways, shout out, Eric already did, but shout out to hashtag DC number 4L, that group, 130K. Shit, excuse me. They let us post in there. I should have done it at the beginning of the show, but sometimes we forget and get carried away.
Did we tell someone in Reddit too that is Reddit one of them?
You can find us in you can find us in Reddit. You can find us on Twitter. Well, Reddit, you're going to find us just basically under one of the groups, one of the Dallas Cowboys group. I don't even know what it's called because they're all R some bullshit.
I think it's R underscore or our Dallas Cowboys, and it's the unofficial group.
You'll it's a 16. It's a 16K group. Yeah, we post our stuff in there. You can find us Dallas Cowboys Uncensored everywhere. We got a Facebook page, Facebook group, and Twitter account. Dallas Cowboys Uncensored. Just type that in and we come up. It's pretty simple. But yeah, and follow. Go sub to Bluff City Cowboys. Sub to Cowboys Y'all. Read Rika Moves the Chains. Sub to her. Fucking read every week to get her views. Keep her views up.
Yeah, we've also got the Keeping Up with the Joneses coming out September 4th. Check that out.
Yeah, my Cowboys family. Go sub to them. Ed and Eddie. Little father and son little video. Yep. Pretty cool shit. Go sub to them.
Yeah, all those guys will be under our channels. Just go to the channel section on our channel. And I'm pretty sure it's updated enough to cover what you're talking about. I think I did that right away. So yeah, go check them out.
Yeah, go check them out. Sub to them. Yes, September 4th, Keeping Up with Jones at the start. It would be us two, Cowboys Y'all, Lambo, and Marcus, Bluff City, and Rika Moves the Chains. We'll all be doing a show on September 4th. I have thought about dropping out of all this shit because I got personal things going on in my life. Plus, this content world is full of shit. Some of the content creators think they're better than what they really are, and it just gets on my fucking nerves. So after a little while, I just fucking why am I even doing this shit with all the other shit I got going on in my life? But then I thought it through. I had 24 hours to think about it, and I decided to stay and see it through. And the ones who don't fucking I like or they don't like me, fuck them in the neck. I don't need their support. I don't give a fuck about their support. I will say this. If you don't want to support us, that's fine. But don't pull other people into our bullshit. If somebody's on our channel that you like, still watch them. All right, you're giving us one view. That's all the fucking thing you're doing. One view. That's the only thing you'll do to help us is giving us one view. Support your people. Even though they're on our channel and you don't want to support us, that's fine.
Really, this is still a hobby for us, man. We're nowhere near making, money and asking for shit and all that. We're not that big fucking yet. So, if it comes to it, we're there, whatever. But this is all overhead cost here. we're not drawing a salary here. This is a fucking hobby for us. So, you're not hurting us or helping us really. But don't, like Charlie said, don't bring others into it.
Keep our bullshit. If you don't like me, that's cool because there's a 90% chance I won't fucking like you either.
Charlie don't like anybody. So
I mean, there's content creators out there that I would love to do something with. If they reached out to us, I would do it in a fucking heartbeat. I won't mention their names because I'm not going to do that. There's other content creators out there. If they reached out to us, I'll slap their fucking hand, go tell them get fucked, and I wouldn't touch them with a 10-foot pole. And most of them know who the fuck they are, so I don't have to mention their names.
Yeah, they know.
They know. But other than that, MCF, fucking Bluff City Cowboys, Cowboys are, and Eddie, that's our peeps. That's who we fuck with. Anybody else wants to fuck with us, reach out to us, and we'd love to do something with you, unless you're one of them fucktards I don't like, and I'll tell you fuck off.
All right, that's it. Appreciate y'all.